Hey everybody, it's Jason, and welcome to the Justice League Dark, the InJustice League expansion. It's on the bottom of the cards. They will actually have Justice League Dark with a little X behind them, to show that they're part of the expansion. I don't know if, again, I'm not positive this is ever going to come out as a separate set. It wasn't listed as being a Kickstarter exclusive. They don't have like the Kickstarter tag or anything. They just came in the Kickstarter box. They were unlocked as stretch goals. So hopefully they'll release them as a separate set for other people. Maybe in like one of those tiny boxes, like a crossover box. Maybe it'll end up being like crossover pack like 11 or 12 or something. But we'll definitely have to see. So this is just expanding upon more of the stuff, except this time we get to play as the villains. So just mentioned here, superhero nemesis cards. We talked about Nemesis before, but now they're just, the superheroes are in there instead of villains. But a reminder, the term Nemesis, superhero, and supervillain are interchangeable. Main deck, we talked about transformation cards and revert. We did all that. They do have some new cards here. We have Curse Weaknesses and a new starter deck card. So we'll take a look at those when we hop in there. Another brand new card mechanic we're having here is the Nemesis Rewards. I want to go over these really quick. These allow you to integrate the Nemesis cards from other DC deck building games more seamlessly into your Justice League Dark games. At the start of the game, shuffle the Nemesis Reward cards face down, place the stack next to the Nemesis stack. Reveal a Nemesis that does not have a reward. You also turn over the top of the Nemesis Reward stack. When you defeat a Nemesis, you also receive the reward text on the card. You may choose a reward if it has equal to or less than the cost of the card you defeated. Then place the Nemesis reward face up into the discard pile. Ever runs out, shuffle it and make a new deck. So the idea is because all the villains in this set, when you old sets, when you defeated characters, you just gained them. And then they go in your deck, you play them like normal, they have effects. This one, instead, what it does is it allows you to defeat them, then the powerful characters aren't in your deck, but you get like a one-time bonus. This is just allowing you to add that reward system to generally to every other character, but instead of just having a basic reward, they actually have a set of, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. Yeah, we get eight different cards with a bunch of different abilities. So you're gonna have a bunch of different options then. So like you draw one card, oh, it's gonna be this, and then the next thing you beat is gonna maybe be a different thing. There's also a team variant. This gameplay variant allows two superheroes to face off against two supervillains on the same team should sit next to each other, take turns. Instead of setting up one Nemesis stack to set up one stack will have 4 supervillains, one will have 4 superheroes. It is recommended at least one card of each level in each stack, but you can alter it to make the game longer or shorter. Supervillains can only defeat superheroes. And the superhero team can only beat supervillains. When you defeat a Nemesis, only the players in our team are affected by first appearances. Additionally, if you're a superhero and you immediately seal away any villains you gain from the lineup, likewise, supervillains immediately seal away any heroes. So they've had versions like this before. So basically, it's more or less like if I'm playing a hero character, so if I'm playing Constantine or Wonder Woman from the base game, and I defeat any of the villain cards in the main lineup, I don't gain them anymore. They just go to my discard pile, or they get sealed. Which is nice that they're sealed, because then they can just be used for whatever. Normally they go, it's basically your score area. And then villains are the same way. Another thing you have to pay attention to is are some of the heroes and villains that require their abilities work if you play superheroes and villains. If you gain them, that's different. But yeah, so you just gotta kind of watch that. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and hop into what is in here. Let's look at some of our big old villains first. We're gonna start with Witchmark Circe. Each time you seal a superpower, gain +1 power. Once per turn, seal a card from the lineup. Cost less than the cost of the hero or villain you played this turn. We're going to get a copy of Enchantress. Each time you seal a hero, power +1 power. Once per turn, seal a card from the lineup with a cost less than the cost of the superpower or equipment you played this turn. Floronic Man. Each time you play a superpower at a cost of 4, plus you may choose a foe to attack. Take control of the location that foe controls until the end of the turn. Seal the location you control. Pop a Midnight. You pay 1 less to buy cards from the lineup to share a card with a sealed card. Solomon Grundy. Discard a card. Put a hero or villain at the cost of 5 or less from your discard pile at the bottom of your deck. And Clarion. So I'm not sure why he's blue in this one. The first time you play a villain each turn, load the top card of your deck, destroy it, or return it. So we get some new ones to kind of counteract some of the heroes, which is really fun. Then let's look at our main deck cards. Actually, before we get into the main deck cards, let's look at our basic cards. We're going to get 4 copies of Lipsig Ursik, or Dispel Curse. Plus 1 power. You may put a weakness you control or from your discard pile at the bottom of its stack. So it replaces a punch when playing with curses. So this is the idea. If you're playing with these updated weakness cards, which are cursed weaknesses, you can include this in your deck so later. Now you can obviously just add this into any game if you like to have an instant way to maybe get rid of weaknesses instead. That's definitely something you could do. But otherwise, we have this giant pile of cursed weaknesses. So they're going to work just like any other weakness. They're going to have variable numbers down here for victory points. But they're all, for the most part, different. There's a couple we have 2 copies of, but a lot are different. So you have Disenchanted. Play this card before a non-weakness card. Put it on the bottom of its stack when destroyed. So discard an equipment. So they're all going to have this green line there. It says play this card before any non-weakness cards. And put it on the bottom of this card. So once you get these cards, normal weaknesses you just kind of sit in your hand and clog up. The ones from Justice League Dark, you could discard cards to potentially get rid of them by playing it. These ones don't have an option. You just immediately got to play them first. And then they're going to do something. So they're going to make you discard a equipment card. We have 2 copies of Haunted. Put this card on the bottom of your deck, so that's just going to keep coming back to us. Traumatized. Destroy a punch in your hand. Which you might be like, that's not bad. It's not unless it hits you like really early in the game, right? That could be bad. Lose control, discard a villain. We have 2 copies of Possessed. Target foe gains this card. And again, you might pick some of these though, like, right, why they're good and bad, right? Like, just destroying punches are good, but they're gonna have weaknesses on some of them. So like, you might want to get rid of them, or you can't get rid of them. Can be kind of interesting. We have 2 copies of Witchmark. Defense, discard to avoid an attack. Great having a defense all the time. That's not bad, except it's going to give you -2 victory points. So if you can keep it for a long time and get rid of it by the end of the game, awesome. Bewitched. You cannot defeat Nemesis cards this turn. Silenced, discard a superpower. We have 3 copies of Chaos Magic. Which does you draw a card, which isn't a bad thing to have, but again, it's -3 victory points, so you might want to get rid of that one. 3 copies of Dark Ritual, gives you +1 power. 1 copy of Lost, discard a location you control. Betrayed, discard a hero. And then finally, we have Ominous Prophecy. With the top card of your deck, if it has 1 cost or greater, discard it. Yes, again, some of these are very detrimental to you. Some can actually be very helpful to you, but you have to get rid of them. But then again, that's what your Dispel Curses for, to help get rid of those cards. But you can also seal weaknesses and stuff away like that too. So there's plenty of different options. Alright, back to our heroes. We have Dr. Occult. Transform, choose a non-starter card. Card type, then reveal the top card of your deck. If it has that card type, seal this card and gain Rose Psychic into your hand. Otherwise, +2 power. So if you can stack your deck, which a lot of cards will let you do that in this set, we get Rose Psychic. Reveal and draw the top 3 cards of your deck. Revert. If you drew cards with a combined cost of 8 or more this way, seal this card and gain Dr. Occult from the score pile. So these are kind of fun. They transform back and forth to each other. We have 2 copies of Blackbriar Thorn, Druid. Transform. If there are 5 or more cards with different card types in your discard pile, you may seal this card. If you do, gain Blackbriar Thorn Elemental into your hand. Otherwise, draw 2 cards and then discard 2. So there's 2 copies of his elemental form, +3 power. You may put a card from your discard pile on top of your deck. Got 2 copies of the Superpower, born on a Monday. Play the bottom card of your deck. Then if you still control it, you may put it on top or bottom of your deck. 2 copies of the Ruby of Life. 1 power and draw a card. After you discard or seal this card from his own, seal the top card of the main deck. And then our last main deck card is Area, which is a location. Once per your turns, if there are 5 or more cards of different types in your score pile, draw a card. So yeah, very fun. Not a ton of different stuff, but just enough, a little crossover, almost expansion enough, just to add some stuff. The big chunk of this is going to be the cursed weaknesses cards and the nemesis cards are like the main new features. Alright, then we have some villains to fight, except they're heroes. We have Giovanni Zantara, so Zantana's father. Reward, you may put a card you control in your discard pile on the bottom of your deck. The Avatar of the Red, or Animal Man. Attack. Each player gains a weakness unless they seal a superpower from their hand or discard pile. Reward. You may gain a superpower from your score or the lineup. Detective Chimp. Each player reveals the top 3 cards of their deck and discards all revealed cards with a cost of 1 or greater. Reward. With the top 3 cards top of your deck, you may seal one of them, put the rest back in any order. We're getting the Shadow Pack here. We have Nightmaster. Attack. Each player gains a weakness and an additional weakness if they have 1 or more sealed cards with 5 or greater. Reward. Reveal the top card of the main deck, gain it or seal it. Ragman. Each player gains a weakness unless they seal a villain from their hand or discard pile. Reward. You may gain a villain from your score pile or the lineup. Avatar of the Green, or Swamp Thing. Each player discards 3 cards unless they seal a location they control. Reward. Gain a location from the lineup or any player's score pile and put it into your hand. Blue Devil. Attack. Each player puts an equipment from the discard pile and score it in the lineup. For each, you cannot gain a weakness. Reward. Seal equipment from the lineup. You may put it on top of your deck. Nightshade. Each player puts 2 non-nemesis heroes from their score pile at the bottom of their main deck. Each, you cannot gain a weakness. Reward. Seal a hero from the lineup. You may put it on top of your deck. Avatar of the Rock, who I don't know who that is specifically. First appearance. Attack. Each player destroys 2 cards with a cost of 1 or greater in their hand or score pile. Reward. You may gain a card from the destroyed pile and put it on top of your deck. And then finally, we're going to end it with level 4 is the Spectre. Each player destroys a card with a cost of 5 or greater in their hand or discard pile. Each player that avoids this attack gains a weakness. Definitely pretty cool. Alright, then we are going to get the Nemesis rewards. So they'll have this special back to keep them separate from everything else. So we'll have these. They're going to have... so if you defeat a Nemesis that's not part of this set with the rewards, if they have 8 costs, you're going to get... You may put a card from your discard pile on top of your deck. 9 or 10. You may put a card you control from your discard pile on top of your deck. 11 or 12. You may put a card you control and or a card from your discard pile on top of your deck. And 13 plus, at the end of your turn, put up to 2 cards from your discard pile in your hand. So it's kind of neat as they're all going to sort of be themed. This is all about putting cards from your discard pile on your deck. Or cards on top of your deck. We have this one. So seal equipment from the lineup. Reward gaining equipment from the lineup. You may put it on top of your deck. At the end of your turn, gain a reward from the lineup and put it into your hand. And reward gain all equipment from the lineup. At the end of your turn, you may put equipment from your discard pile in your hand. So it's all about equipment. And I have a very much the same one for each of these. So I'm not going to read through all of these because they're basically the same thing here. But I'll hold them up. You have one for superpowers from the lineup, top of your deck. From the lineup into your hand, or gain all the superpowers. We have one for the villains from the lineup, top of your deck, into your hand, or gain all the supervillains. One for heroes, lineup, top of your deck, into your hand, or all villains. So those are kind of the main 4 ones. Superheroes, heroes, villains, superpower, and equipment. Otherwise, one's just kind of generalized cards. We have this one. So at the end of your turn, draw an extra card, then discard a card. At the end of your turn, draw 2 cards and discard 2. At the end of your turn, draw 2 extra cards and discard 1. At the end of your turn, just draw 2 cards. So it's trade, half trade, no trade. So pretty interesting. This one says, will the top card of your deck destroy it or return it? You may destroy a card you control or in your discard pile. You may destroy up to 2 cards total you control in your discard pile, and you may destroy up to 3 total cards you control or in your discard pile. So that one's all about destroying stuff. And then the last one is seal a card from the lineup. Seal top 2 cards of the main deck. Seal 2 cards from the lineup, or seal the top 3 cards of the main lineup. So yeah, these are really fun. They let you combine other modes together, other characters from other sets a little bit easier. It's also pretty fun because you get like one that's this one for the sealing stuff. Then you can switch that out and you can gain another one. It's also cool is because really outside of this one for sealing, all the rest of them are just destroying or gaining stuff. So you can even use this reward system for every other game, even if it's not including it with this one. If you just don't want to have the ability for people to gain them superpowers, have a ton of huge effects every time they play them, instead you gain this one-time bonus. That's definitely something you could do. Alright, that's all we have for the InJustice Dark expansion. Now we're going to get the Kickstarter exclusives. So we're going to get 2 new villains to play as. We have Black Adam here. Discard any number of cards with a combined cost of 4+. Play the top card of the main deck, then seal it. And we're also going to get Felix Faust. So Felix Faust here is going to, at the end of each of your turns, gain an extra card for each equipment card you gained during that turn. Nice, so he's going to focus on equipment. Neat. Then, for the other ones, we're going to get one more copy of Dispel Curse. This is, again, to go with the 5th player set from the main deck. So that way everyone has a copy of that. And then we're just going to get a bunch of superheroes to fight against. So no other main deck cards for the Kickstarter, just some extra nemesis. The Wizard. Seal a card from the lineup. The Phantom Stranger. Attack, each player seals a card with the highest cost in their hand or discard pile. Reward, you may gain a non-transformed card in your score pile. Dead Man. Each player discards a card random. Reward, you may destroy a card from your discard pile and or score pile. Wonder Woman. Each player destroys an attack and defense card from their discard and or score pile. For each, you cannot gain a weakness. Reward, gain an attack or defense card from the lineup or your score pile. And then another level 4 is we have Dr. Fate. Attack, each card seals their hand and their draw 4 cards. Seal each defense card used to avoid this attack. Really cool. The other thing I really like about these extra Kickstarter bonus characters is because it gives you, even just playing like with just the Justice League Dark set, it gives you more options. We have some alternate level 1 characters to swap out. We have some alternate level 4. So you don't always be like, oh, I'm always playing this to start with. I'm always playing this one. Because there's a bunch of level 2s and 3s. So if you have, like, you're playing a shorter game and you have, level 1, 2, 3, and 4, you could swap out one of these level 2s. But then you had all the ones from the main deck as well. That gave you options as well. So we had 4 level 3s. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 level 2s. So it gave you some different options there. So if you're playing with like 2 of each, 2 level 2s, 2 level 3s, and a level 4, it gives you some more options to swap some guys around. Plus, you can also then either do the 2-player variant and play heroes versus villains. Now, at this expansion, you can really play that. Some guys can play the Justice League. Justice League Dark, some can play the InJustice as the Dark characters. And you can go that way, or you can just combine them. Each player can pick wherever they want. You can have the heroes and villains mixed in the Nemesis deck. So all that is really cool. The last thing I wanted to look at for this set was the playmat. So there was a Justice League Dark playmat you could get. So we're going to do that. I'm going to pause quick so I can move stuff out of the way. Alright, so then we got the Justice League Dark playmat, which I don't generally buy too many of these playmats, like just by themselves, but they're usually part of the Kickstarter, like all in, so I end up getting them. But yeah, this has that cool cover art that I had with the heroes on one side, villains on the other. It has your spots for your main lineup, plus your regular standard decks over here. I do wish, however, being that it's specifically for Justice League Dark, is they would have had a spot up here at the top for the 4 transform cards, because you have starters, villains, heroes, and equipment. And that's really kind of nice to have like them 4 spots. Also, as I move this down a little bit, move that up, just because that's the whole focus of this. It would have been neat if they would have specifically had that for that, but they didn't. That's all right. But yeah, you're gonna get Papa Midnight, Solomon Grundy, Clarion, Floronic Man, Ceres on that side, and then Dr. Fate, Wonder Woman, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, and Constantine. So very cool. I also kind of like the Wonder Woman's kind of like a main focus in the magical set. Just because you get kind of like Batman-y themed stuff, you can get Superman themed stuff, Flash, Green Lantern. Wonder Woman doesn't really have that general like background of extra characters. So it's kind of a neat way to throw her into giving her more stuff to do. Alright, so that's what we have for that. If you guys enjoyed this, there's plenty of other stuff that came out for the DC deck building. During this campaign, we still have the Rivals, Shazam, Black Adam. We have some of the Crisis crossovers and crossover collections to go through. Some new Rebirth stuff, new Flashpoint crossover pack. Plus, at the end of all the videos, I will go through after I have all this done on the unboxing for this new Kickstarter campaign. I will do an updated version with some more promo cards, as well as the new storage set. See how everything fits in with all these brand new sets. Hope to see you guys there. If you have questions, comments, hit me up in the section down there. And I'll try and answer as best as I can. See you guys later. Bye.